As I hope you are aware, there have been several school shootings within the past year, not to mention the past several years, and many of them have been fatal. And while some believe it would be a beneficial safety precaution to allow our teachers to carry guns on school property, many also believe that guns and other lethal weapons should be nowhere near our students' classrooms. According to the New York Times, teachers are nowhere near qualified to carry guns on school property, regardless of the training that they might receive. The first thing to consider are the what ifs, and there are just too many of them in this situation. There is no way to be sure and 100% confident that if we gave a teacher a weapon in a classroom, that nothing would go wrong. The risk outweighs the potential good here. And this isn't to say that a student gets their hands on the gun, or worse, and this accident could be fatal. And it just isn't fair to put our nation's youth in that kind of risk. We just can't let it happen. Another thing to consider is, according to the New York Times and CNN, an armed instructor does not make for a comfortable school environment. Now, while we understand that personal relationships that teachers develop with their students involve wanting to keep them out of harm's way, making sure their safety comes first, and we appreciate that, and that is a duty of an educator. But the primary duty of an educator is to create an environment that is conducive for learning and creative development. And it's tough to say that, for instance, middle schoolers would feel comfortable and cozy to learn and to act like a child when they are in the presence of an educator who has a gun. It just doesn't make sense. It seems counterintuitive in this case. Another thing to consider is that, according to CNN and other third-party sources, it's tough to really know if and when someone is in their right mind. Now, and another example to consider is when you hear on the news about teachers having inappropriate relationships with students. Now, this is directly related to the topic at hand, because considering those inappropriate relationships that we hear so often about, unfortunately, you can't really say that that teacher is mentally stable enough to be in the position that they're in. So while it is in human nature, and we do love our teachers, it's in our nature to assume that they want only the best for our children. It's tough to say that should we give a teacher a gun, that they would not use that authority and step outside of their role as a result of feeling good or feeling as though they've been promoted because they have a gun on them. And like I said, the potential risks in this situation from giving a teacher a gun when they're in a classroom with a whole bunch of students, it's just too great. The risk is just too great. So in conclusion, teachers should not have guns or any other lethal weapons. One, because it's counterintuitive to what we're trying to get done in the classroom. We want our students to feel comfortable to learn and to act like kids. And we can't guarantee that nothing fatal would happen as a result of having a gun in the classroom.